I know this is one of the best weeks of our lives here. We come here and we see everybody we know, but also, be part of the event. So who knows what Cambridge have in store for next year? I'm curious, but it's going to be hard to beat. So, but so far so good.
Oh, Dan.
Adam Silver thought he had it all figured out. The NBA commissioner poured millions into the WNBA, expecting steady growth and positive headlines. Instead, he got the biggest public relations nightmare of his career, all because of one basketball player who decided to swing a golf club. Caitlyn Clark was supposed to be the golden goose, the rookie sensation who would finally make the WNBA profitable.
I honestly just got so triggered by Caitlyn Clark's golf debut, and it is no fault of hers that I got upset. It is the fault of the WNBA, because the LPGA just did everything that the WNBA should have been doing this season. They did it all correct in literally one day.
Silver watched from his Manhattan office as ticket sales exploded, viewership shattered records, and merchandise flew off shelves. Everything seemed perfect until it all went sideways faster than a bad three-point shot.
LPGA understand what's great for business. Not what's good for business, what's great. It'd be nice if the WNBA could get with the program. It'd be nice if you didn't allow your greatest asset to get beat up and hacked and fouled 94 feet and be targeted since day one of stepping into the league. It'd be nice, it'd be smart, you'd be better off, but you guys are gonna do what you want to do.
But here's where things get interesting. The very league Silver bankrolled started treating their biggest star like a practice dummy. Every game, Clark got hammered with flagrant fouls. Veteran players targeted her with cheap shots. The media downplayed her achievements. And the worst part? WNBA leadership just sat there and watched it happen. Silver started getting uncomfortable phone calls. Nike executives were furious. Television networks demanded explanations.
What that could do for their sport. They understand that let's say 1,000 new eyeballs, 10,000 new eyeballs show up. If only they could get a fraction of those new eyeballs to become fans, they understand that's a win. They understand that that's a bonus. They understand that's not the opportunity that comes across them every single day. So they need to capitalize on this moment. We also had the speaking engagement that Caitlyn Clark took part in last season. I'm assuming we're going to run it all back. We're going to run it all back. We're going to have the speaking engagement, the panel.
Corporate sponsors began asking pointed questions about why their investment was being wasted on a league that seemed determined to sabotage itself. The breaking point came when Clark stepped onto that golf course in Florida. Not only that, but she absolutely dominated the headlines in a sport that had nothing to do with basketball. Tiger Woods praised her swing. Nelly Korda became her instant best friend. The internet exploded with admiration for Clark's natural talent.
For bringing all these eyeballs and, the Caitlyn Clark effect that we talk about, viewership, money, all of those things. All of the people who were shouting this for the entire WNBA season, this is an instance where we are proved correct. You see her at this event, you see the kind of noise that this is making, you see that this is trending on social media, you see that SportsCenter, Bleacher Report, all of these places, every media outlet is covering this, and you don't say anything. That's what we were talking about this whole season. We were correct. The fans that were saying that the WNBA seems to be trying to quiet the noise of Caitlyn Clark, not letting her shine to her full ability, and not, in turn, not helping your own players in the league, we were right. And this event proved it, because the LPGA did literally everything correct. They capitalized on the moment. They found a way to put it on television. They allowed people to be there. Caitlyn was signing autographs. They put their best golfer.
Meanwhile, Silver watched the numbers roll in with growing horror. The LPGA gained more social media followers in one day than the WNBA had gained all season. Golf merchandise featuring Clark started out selling WNBA jerseys. SportsCenter dedicated more airtime to her golf debut than they had to the entire WNBA playoffs. And then came the phone calls that made Silver's blood run cold.
So amazing. She's so sweet, so nice. It was nice to kind of get to spend some time with her. We've messaged a little on Instagram beforehand, but to get to spend some time with her and to see the influence that she has on people, bringing people out here.
Major corporate partners started questioning their WNBA investments. Why should they fund a league that actively discouraged fan engagement? Why support an organization that seemed allergic to promoting their own stars? Silver realized he had a massive problem. The NBA had invested heavily in the WNBA's growth, expecting returns on that investment. Instead, he was watching millions of dollars get flushed down the drain. Because WNBA leadership couldn't figure out basic marketing principles. The golf tournament wasn't just embarrassing for the WNBA. It was a direct threat to Silver's reputation as a competent commissioner. His peers in professional sports were quietly laughing at the situation. How could the NBA's supposedly brilliant leader allow such a spectacular mismanagement of talent? The phone calls started coming in fast and furious. Nike's executive team demanded an emergency meeting with Silver. They had invested massive amounts in WNBA partnerships.
I'll probably ever play this game. It's super fun and special for me. Like, I'm a fan of both of them, but a fan of, all the women on this tour. I think it's absolutely incredible.
Expecting Caitlyn Clark to be the face of women's basketball for the next decade. Instead, they watched their biggest potential star get systematically destroyed by the very league they were funding. Gatorade pulled their representatives out of WNBA headquarters within hours of Clark's golf performance.
Earlier, they actually had odds that, she was like third or fourth in the betting odds to be MVP of the WNBA. That's such a slap in the face to every WNBA.
Their marketing team had already designed entire campaigns around her rookie season. Now they were scrambling to redirect those millions toward golf sponsorships. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. A basketball player was making golf more profitable than basketball. But wait, it gets worse. State Farm Insurance, one of the WNBA's longest-standing partners, sent Silver a formal letter expressing concerns about their continued investment. They had specifically requested more Clark-focused marketing opportunities throughout the season. The WNBA's response: complete radio silence while other players took cheap shots at their investment. Wilson Sporting Goods, the official basketball supplier for the WNBA, started exploring partnerships with professional golf organizations. Their executives realized something the WNBA leadership missed entirely. Clark's crossover appeal was worth more than every other WNBA player combined, and the league was actively wasting it. Let's take a moment to understand what Silver was really facing. The NBA had pumped over $30 million into WNBA operations this year alone. Television deals, arena improvements, marketing campaigns, player salaries. All of that investment was predicated on growing fan engagement and corporate sponsorship revenue. Clark represented the fastest path to profitability the WNBA had ever seen. Her games drew triple the normal viewership. Merchandise sales increased by 400% whenever she played. Corporate sponsors were literally throwing money at any opportunity to associate with her brand. And here's the kicker. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert had been actively discouraging this golden opportunity. She worried about other players feeling overshadowed. She didn't want the league to become too dependent on one star. She preferred slow, steady growth over explosive popularity. Silver couldn't believe the stupidity. Professional sports leagues dream about generational talents who can transform entire industries. The NFL built dynasties around Tom Brady. The NBA marketed Michael Jordan globally. The WNBA got Caitlyn Clark and decided to hide her under a bushel. major television networks started renegotiating their WNBA contracts. ESPN executives were furious about declining playoff ratings after Clark's team was eliminated. They had promoted the entire season around her rookie campaign, only to watch the league systematically undermine their investment. Now, Silver faced an impossible choice: intervene directly in WNBA operations and risk accusations of micromanaging, or watch millions of dollars in NBA investment get flushed away by incompetent leadership. Here's where the story takes a completely insane turn. While Silver was dealing with angry sponsors, Caitlyn Clark was busy making golf look like the smartest sport in America. Every swing she took generated more positive press than the entire WNBA season combined. The LPGA treated her like royalty, while the WNBA had treated her like a punching bag. The contrast couldn't have been more embarrassing. Golf legends were lining up to praise Clark's natural ability. Annika Sorenstam personally invited her to future tournaments. Professional golfers were asking for her autograph. Meanwhile, WNBA veterans were still complaining about her getting too much attention. But the real gut punch came when the numbers started rolling in. The LPGA's social media engagement skyrocketed overnight. Their Instagram followers increased by 200,000 in 24 hours. Golf equipment sales spiked across the country as young girls suddenly wanted to try the sport Clark made look effortless. Silver had to watch this train wreck unfold in real time. The sport his league had ignored was now benefiting from the talent his league had wasted. Golf courses around the country reported massive increases in junior program enrollment. Young athletes were abandoning basketball camps to sign up for golf lessons. And then came the media coverage that made Silver want to hide under his desk. Every major sports outlet ran stories comparing how golf embraced Clark versus how basketball rejected her. ESPN analysts openly questioned WNBA leadership. Sports Illustrated published a scathing editorial about missed opportunities in women's sports. The golf tournament had exposed something deeply embarrassing about professional basketball culture. Here was a sport traditionally known for exclusivity and elitism, showing more class than a league that prided itself on diversity and inclusion. Golf welcomed Clark with open arms while basketball players threw elbows at her ribs. Not only that, but Clark's golf performance proved she was genuinely athletically gifted beyond basketball. Her swing mechanics were nearly perfect. Her course management showed incredible strategic thinking. Professional golf instructors were amazed by her natural feel for the game. This revelation made the WNBA's treatment of her even more inexcusable. They hadn't just mishandled a basketball player. They had wasted a generational athlete who could have elevated multiple sports. Golf was smart enough to recognize her value immediately. Basketball was too stupid to protect what they already had. The worst part for Silver? Other professional sports leagues were taking notes. The MLS reached out to Clark about promotional opportunities. Tennis organizations invited her to celebrity tournaments. Even NASCAR expressed interest in having her participate in exhibition events. Silver realized the WNBA hadn't just lost a player. They had created a blueprint for how not to manage superstar talent. Every other league was learning from their mistakes, while basketball continued making the same errors. Let's rewind to the moment Silver realized this wasn't just a PR problem anymore. His assistant walked into his office with a stack of legal documents that made his stomach drop. Contract cancellation notices, sponsorship withdrawal letters, partnership termination agreements. The financial bleeding was happening faster than anyone anticipated. State Farm's legal team had found a clause in their WNBA contract allowing them to exit if the league failed to adequately promote marketable athletes. They were invoking that clause specifically because of how Clark was handled. Their lawyers argued that deliberately minimizing their biggest star constituted a breach of promotional obligations. Nike's response was even more devastating. They had guaranteed certain marketing opportunities in exchange for their massive sponsorship deal. The WNBA's systematic suppression of Clark violated multiple contract provisions. Nike wasn't just threatening to leave. They were demanding refunds for undelivered promotional value. But here's the part that really made Silver panic. Wilson Sporting Goods was already in advanced negotiations with golf equipment manufacturers. They wanted to pivot their entire women's sports marketing budget away from basketball toward golf. The WNBA was about to lose their official ball supplier because they couldn't figure out basic star management. The domino effect was accelerating beyond Silver's worst nightmares. Corporate sponsors weren't just leaving the WNBA. They were actively bad-mouthing the league to other potential partners. Word was spreading through executive circles that the WNBA was impossible to work with and hostile to their own success. And then, Silver discovered something that made him absolutely furious. WNBA leadership had been actively discouraging corporate requests for Clark-focused marketing campaigns. Sponsors had begged for opportunities to build promotions around her popularity. The league said no to every single request. Gatorade had wanted to create a signature drink line featuring Clark. Rejected. Nike had proposed a documentary series following her rookie season. Turned down. ESPN had pitched expanded coverage of her games. The WNBA said they preferred balanced reporting that didn't favor individual players. What happened next was even more shocking. Silver's own legal team started receiving calls from WNBA sponsors' attorneys. They weren't just canceling contracts, they were exploring lawsuits for lost revenue opportunities. Companies had invested millions expecting to capitalize on Clark's marketability, only to watch the league actively prevent that success. The golf tournament had provided perfect evidence for these legal challenges. Here was proof that Clark could generate massive engagement and revenue when properly promoted. The WNBA's failure to do the same looked like gross negligence rather than simple incompetence. Silver realized he was facing potential litigation on multiple fronts: angry sponsors, furious television networks, corporate partners demanding accountability, all because the WNBA couldn't handle having a superstar who actually brought in fans and revenue. Now comes the absolute meltdown that nobody saw coming. Silver's emergency board meeting lasted 14 hours straight. NBA owners were demanding explanations for why their WNBA investment was imploding in real time. The room was filled with billionaires who had trusted Silver's judgment, and now they were watching millions vanish because of amateur-level management decisions. The financial reports were devastating. WNBA merchandise sales had dropped 60% since Clark's elimination from the playoffs. Television viewership for the finals hit historic lows without her involvement. Arena attendance crashed back to pre-Clark numbers almost immediately. The league had proven they were completely dependent on one player, then systematically destroyed that dependency. But the real catastrophe was just beginning. Other WNBA players were starting to panic about their own futures. Team executives were quietly reaching out to agents, asking if their clients might be interested in exploring other professional opportunities. The golf tournament had shown everyone what happened when athletes were properly promoted and celebrated. Silver's phone hadn't stopped ringing for 3 days straight. Sports agents were calling to complain about their clients' treatment. Television executives wanted explanations for declining ratings. Corporate sponsors were demanding immediate meetings to discuss contract modifications or complete withdrawal. And here's the twist that made everything infinitely worse. Clark's management team started fielding offers from completely different industries. Fashion brands wanted her as a spokesperson. Technology companies offered endorsement deals. Entertainment executives pitched reality show concepts. The WNBA was losing their biggest star to industries that actually understood marketing. The domino effect reached international markets when European basketball leagues started recruiting disgruntled WNBA players. They promised better promotion, higher salaries, and actual respect for talent. Several high-profile athletes were seriously considering overseas opportunities, rather than dealing with WNBA dysfunction. Let's talk about what this means for Silver's legacy. He had positioned himself as a forward-thinking commissioner who understood modern sports marketing. The WNBA disaster exposed him as someone who couldn't even supervise basic talent management. His reputation for competent leadership was crumbling alongside the league's credibility. The golf tournament had become a permanent reminder of everything wrong with WNBA culture. Every time Clark appeared at sporting events, media outlets compared her reception to her basketball treatment. The contrast made professional basketball look petty, jealous, and completely out of touch with fan preferences. Silver faced an impossible situation with no good options. Firing WNBA leadership would admit massive oversight failures. Keeping them meant continued financial losses and reputational damage. Either choice would cost millions and potentially destroy his own career prospects. The final insult came when golf organizations started actively recruiting other WNBA players. They had learned that basketball was wasting athletic talent and saw an opportunity to capitalize. Professional golf was positioning itself as the smart alternative for women's sports participation. If you're enjoying this breakdown of professional sports chaos and want to see more behind-the-scenes disaster analysis, make sure to hit that subscribe button for future content.